Welcome to the custom card review. And so now this is going to be the custom card review of Rusty. And this is the anti-support for machines. Because Rusty is a thing that usually machines have. So yeah, but this archetype, I'll read you. Okay, let's do the one that searches cards out. Rusty Bot. It's a Earth type level 2 monster with 100 attack and 200 defense. It's a machine tuner effect monster. And most of these Rust cards has a similar effect. So basically, I'll read his card's effect. If this card is normal summon, you select one card from your deck that mentions a Rust in its card text, or Rusty in its card text or name, except this card. Add it to your hand. If this card attacks a machine or rock type monster, you can banish this card and banish that targeted monster to the banish zone. That no matter if it cannot be targeted. So, if you do, then at the end phase of your opponent's turn, special summon this card. Earn 2 your field in the defense mode. You take no battle damage from this card. And this card's effects cannot be negated by... This card's effects cannot be chained by your opponent's card effects. And it cannot be negated by card effects. You can only use this effects for one turn. So the one that says if this card attacks a machine or rock type monster, you can banish this card from, or you can banish this card and yeah, so you can banish, and here, you can banish this card and banish that targeted monster. Oh, I'm gonna save that. Yeah. So yeah, all of their effects have this similar. And yeah, so now let's go over to the legs. And so it's an Earth level 4 machine effect monster where if you control a rust monster on the field, except Rusty Legs, special summon this card to your field from your hand. If this card attacks, so I'm skipping that part. So once per turn during your main phase 1, you can select one monster from the field except this card. The selected monster's attack points loses 100,000. 1 million attack and points until the end of this turn. And if it does, then you draw 4 cards from the top of your deck to your hand. Then shuffle 2 cards into the deck. You take no damage from battles from this card, and this card's effects cannot be changed by card effects and cannot be negated by card effects. And you can only use this, So you can select a monster, and its attack points, say, example would be the 5-headed dragon. I'll just use the 5-headed dragon. As the 5-headed dragon, and attack points will go down to 0. And it's once per turn, so you can select cards. And then and so the guard is level 3. If this card is normal or special summon, you can select one rust spell / trap card from your deck or graveyard, add it to your hand. All of your opponent's monsters must attack this card. If this card attacks or attacked, so basically, like, if it's attacking or gets attacked by a machine or a rock type monster, you can banish this card and then banish, so then it has a similar effect, but then so basically it's you could stop or you can, like, basically attack so, like, you summon it and then you add a card to your hand, and then if it gets just, like, banished, it's because it's gonna be crazy. So then this is gonna be, how many monsters was that? And 1, 2, 3. This is gonna be the 4th one of the main deck ones. And he is a guardian thing, like a hand trap, basically. If your opponent declares an attack or activates a card effect, you can discard this card from to the graveyard, negate it, and then banish it. basically, you're basically banishing cards earned from your or opponent. And if you control a Rusty monster on the field, except Rusty Searcher or Selector Bon Hun, while this card is in your graveyard, you special summon this card to your field in attack mode. And then it has the similar effect to the guard one, where or all the other main ones that if they attack into the or machines or rock type monsters, you can banish this card and then banish the and and then the so because you basically are banishing your opponent's entire thing. Imagine how scary that would have been. But there is a combo for it. So now the 2 synchro monsters, let me do level 5 monster first. So 1 rusty monster, or tuner monster, and one or more non-tuner monsters. This card must be synchro summoned, and all monsters on your opponent's field become machine type monsters. So basically, the no matter if they're dragon type monsters or they become more of a oh look, this monster is becoming a machine type monster. And then if this card is sent to the grave, or this card attacks or attacked by a monster, you can banish this card, and the banished card, and then it has similar effect. So and you take no battle damage. So basically, you banished a lot of monsters. And then we got the dragon one. It does the same thing. So I'm not going to go over it because each one, because there was a level 2 monster, level 3 monster, and level 4s, 2 level 4s, right here and here. And now we're on to the spell cards. The Rusty Botch's head. And if you control a Rusty monster or monsters on the field, all Rusty monsters on your field can attack twice per turn. Twice in battle. If your Rusty monster or monsters in your banish zone while this card is in your graveyard, you can select one monster from your opponent's banish zone, special summon it to your field in attack mode, and then it's treated as a Rusty monster on the field. So basically, if you banish the Blue Eyes White Dragon and you activate this card, And yeah, so then you can activate its effect. This card's effect. Special summon summon the Blue Eyes White Dragon. It becomes Rusty Blue Eyes White Dragon. And yeah, and basically, yeah. And then the next card is Rusty Boots. It destroys all face-up machine type monsters on your opponent's field. Their effects are negated until the end of this turn. Once per turn, during your opponent's main phase 1, you can tribute 1 monster on the field to the graveyard. Inflict damage to your opponent's side points equal to that selected monster's attack points. If you do, then both players draw 4 cards from the top of their decks, and then they shuffle 1 into their deck. So basically, you can activate this card. Its first effect destroys all cards from your opponent's field, or all monsters, because of a combo that both Cannon and Dragon have a similar effect. All your opponents, it says all of your opponent's monsters on the field become machine types. Yeah. And I think this is going to be good because it's a anti-spiral anti-support, anti-support for the machines. And most of them are machines, so basically, yeah. And speaking of that, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And there's actually, yeah, so this one, all these guys, this one has the Valiant Magic Cylinder and Mirror Force, plus it's like a fusion cards that are trap cards instead of monsters. And each one corresponds to their own types. Like Healer Cylinder is basically, you can summon, or you can do, or if your opponent activates one of these cards' effects, and you can pay 100 life points, activate one of these following effects to that appropriate card for once per turn. So if it was Magic Cylinder, your opponent takes damage instead of you, and Mirror Force destroys all your opponent's monsters instead, and the Horn of the Heavens, they must send 1 monster from their deck to the graveyard instead. Yeah, because and all of them have. So basically, yeah, have their own correspondence things. Like this one, who uses Trap Jammer. Because I don't remember people using it in modern day. And yeah, so then They must banish one trap card from their deck to the banish zone instead, yeah. And there's like 1, 2, 3, and then this one is for remove traps, and you can select one trap card from either player's fields into the graveyards instead. And then, yeah. So then another one. Wait, that's the same one. Wait, hold on. Oh, this one. Who uses shift? Because you can select one card, one monster on your opponent's shield instead. So basically, it's all like reversed ones. And then we got the the Cylinder Ninja, Dark Level 4, Warrior Flip Effect Tuner, the Effect Monster, where once it's flipped, you can select one spell or trap card that mentions or that has cylinder in its name from your deck or graveyard and add it to your hand. And says as such. Then skip your opponent's battle phase or next battle phase. This card cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effects. If this card gets tributed, you can, yeah. So, yeah. So then the field spell for it is, it all protects your cards from getting destroyed by card effects. So, yeah. And then you can pay 100. Once per turn during your opponent's turn, they must pay 2,000 life points before they activate any card effects or summon any monsters. So basically, like 2, 4, 6, 8. That would instant win. And yeah, then and so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And this one, I made this one for the barrier statue cards. You can pay 1,000 life points, normal summon 5 barrier statues, monsters with different attributes from your deck or graveyard to your field in defense mode. So, I know that their effects, the barrier statues have, like, neither player can special summon unless they have a certain cards with the same thing, but with this card bringing out all 5 of them, like, is basically an instant win. Depends on what is your opponent playing, because water, fire, earth, wind or light, and then the earth thing. Like one of those. Yeah, so there's a lot of barrier cards. So I'm going to show you what I mean. Copy that, and let's go over to here, and let's go here. Ready? Paste, and there's 2, 4, 6, yeah. So each one of them, if you special summon 5 of them, like dark, light, earth, fire, and water. Whoever has the opposite, like, here, like, because they all have different attribute things. Yeah, so then once you summon all 5 with different attributes, your opponent can't do nothing. Just, like, sits there and have, yeah, like, what? Yeah, and then but yeah, because how powerful it is. Like, with all 5 of those powers. Yeah, and no, I'm not gonna sing with the 5 powers and our powers combined, we create Captain Planet thing. Yeah, and the robot or Rusty bots. This is gonna be the whole gimmick thing is that use DNA surgery to bring out or to turn all your monsters into machines, or all your opponent's monsters into machines, and you can basically banish all of that. And who's going to be really good at banishing cards is none other than and I remember there was a card that was I'm trying to figure that out. That gains cards, or like gains attack. Not fossil fusion. Oh, here it is. If you add this card to the hand, because how much banish you do, like you banish a whole crud ton of your opponent's monsters. So, yeah, you can basically allowing this to reach all the attack points to just swing in for damage. Yeah. So, yeah, unless your opponent has skill drain, and I do not think that modern day people or modern duelists like of today does not have a like trying to find the spell card that, like, because I'm trying. So, yeah. So, this entire deck thing is basically you could instant win anything. Like, your opponent could just be like, what are you going to do? Well, I'm going to banish all your cards. First of all, let me you don't get monsters. Slap. You could just, like, clear the entire board for him to arrive. I know he's not a machine type monster, but with the DNA surgery, you could make it a machine type monster. Or I could make a rusty version of it. You could just walk over to your opponent. Like, if this was a real deck, or if these cards were really printed, you could just go over to your opponent and be like, slap them across the face. Because that's what it is. So, yeah. This deck is mostly focused on summoning and bringing each other's out and going into the Rusty Dragon or Cannon to make all your opponent's monsters. Like, if your opponent and hence, like, if you bring out them, you could have easily defeated all of the monsters, and you could bring them all out. And plus with the level things, and yeah, it's crazy. Easy what you can do. So, with that out of the way, and yeah, and if the dual book, or not dual book, the dual logs, or the Florentine Yu-Gi-Oh! If you guys, if you're watching this, please duel me. And go on Discord, okay? So, and you could go on to Discord and chat with me. So, yeah. And they're kind of balanced, my cards things. Yeah. So, and each one. So now this is going to be the end of the what if. Please leave a like. Or not what if. This is going to be the end of the custom cards. And please leave a like, share, subscribe, comment, and do all that fun stuff. And catch you guys and girls later. Peace.